Dr. Limongelli, let's talk about sealants for children. Are they good? Are they bad? Do they really do something? And frankly, are sealants good for adults also or not?
Sealants are very good for children, and they do work very well. What they do is they seal the fissures on the biting surface of the permanent teeth and prevent cavities. For adults, it's not usually done, and the reason that it's not usually done is that the dietary habits of most adults are such that they're not as prone to cavities as children. They're more prone to periodontal disease or gum disease after the age of 35. But for kids that have permanent teeth, pit and fissure sealants work very well for them in preventing tooth decay.
Interesting.
Together with good oral hygiene.
Right. We'll get to that later. How many sealants on an average? How many teeth are usually sealed? And how long does such a sealant last? Is it like something done every 6 months, every 6 years? What's the deal there?
The sealants usually last a few years. They're essentially bonded to the biting surface or the occlusal surface of the permanent posterior teeth, the molars mostly.
I see. And at what age, more or less, should they be applied?
As soon as the permanent molars come in, which is usually around 6 years old, and after.
Okay. And then they last, what, you said a few years. Is a few years a couple of years? Is a few years 8 years? What are we talking?
I would say about 4 to 5 years they usually last.
And should they then be reapplied afterwards, or at that point it's kind of like, no, we're okay. We exited that stage of where cavities are a major problem?
Well, it depends on the age of the patient. If they're still in their early teens, like let's say 11 or 12 years old, you can apply it again. If they get to be about 16, 17 years old, then I wouldn't do it. By that time, I think that their hygiene is good and their dietary habits are good enough so that they're not as prone to tooth decay as they are when they're very young.
Well, all right. Anything else we should know about sealants?
Not that I can think of right now.
Well, all right. And then that's it. So sealants is a good thing. They should be applied somewhere around the age of 6, 7 or so when the first permanent molar teeth come in. They usually last 4, 5, 6 years. If they're worn out before the age of 10, 12 or something like that, then they should be perhaps reapplied. Otherwise, one set of them is pretty much enough.
Yes, that's about right.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot.